There's a truth that those in power have always understood but never openly admitted. It's this: emotion, for most people, is not a source of strength, it's a leash. The more invested you become emotionally, the more vulnerable you are to manipulation. Caring, feeling deeply, showing love, these are not pathways to power. They are the openings through which control slips away. The world doesn't belong to those who love the hardest. It belongs to those who can walk away without a second glance. Emotion is a currency, and those who spend it sparingly dominate the market. When you feel less, you hold the advantage. When you're not emotionally tethered, you own the space you're in. There's a widespread illusion that love conquers all or that empathy earns respect. In reality, it's detachment that wins wars and fear that commands respect. You want influence, then stop needing to be understood. Let go of the urge to be liked. Resist the impulse to always reply. The more you hold back, the more others lean in. The world is not governed by the kind-hearted or the passionate. It is ruled by the emotionally distant observer. The one who says little, reacts rarely, and waits while others reveal themselves out of desperation is the one who quietly commands everything. To care is to hand over your power. Most people wear their emotional needs like badges of honor. They want to be liked, to feel seen, to be validated. They polish these chains and carry them proudly. But the instant you truly detach, not pretend, not play a role, but genuinely stop giving your emotions away, you elevate yourself above them. You become unreadable. You become unshakable. You become your own master. The foundation of control is mystery, and mystery is born from emotional restraint. When you care less than those around you, they begin to feel discomfort. They scramble to understand you, to analyze you, to make sense of what they can't read. They fear losing access to you. They pursue a closeness you've never promised. In doing so, they hand over their own control while you simply remain still. This shift in power is profound. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer explain. You're listened to. You don't react. You lead. If you want to command a room, never let your heart beat louder than your strategy, because the one who cares less always has the upper hand. Emotion can be used, it can be pulled, stretched, and exploited. But the person who doesn't need anything can't be guilt-tripped, manipulated, or seduced. That, right there, is power. So, what does this look like in practice? Withdraw just enough to be missed, not so much that you disappear. Be present enough to spark desire, distant enough to cause frustration. Let your silence speak louder than your words. Offer warmth in small doses, then pull back. Become rare, elusive. Let others project their hopes onto you while you remain unaffected. They will call you unkind. Let them. They will label you cold. Smile. They will accuse you of lacking empathy. Take it as a compliment. The lion does not concern itself with the feelings of the lamb. The storm does not explain itself to those it destroys. Real power is never earned through affection. It's claimed through fear, desire, and an intentional lack of transparency. When you care too much, your enemies can smell it. They will know precisely where to hit you. They will bait you with guilt, trap you in arguments, and drag you into emotional spirals. But when you maintain your composure, when your detachment is real and not reactive, they fall apart trying to reach you. They reveal their cards while you keep yours hidden. Understand, this isn't about being heartless, it's about strategy. Detachment is not emotional emptiness. It's intelligent indifference. You still see, you still assess, but you don't overcommit. You don't invest where it's not necessary. You never place your power into someone else's hands. When you become emotionally neutral, you also become unpredictable. And unpredictability is a form of danger. And danger, real psychological danger, is magnetic. It commands attention, obedience, and respect. Don't chase anyone. Don't defend your actions. Don't justify your silence. Let others come to you. Because the person who maintains emotional distance doesn't merely survive, he dominates. Look at history. Kings aren't crowned because they were the most caring. They're crowned because they controlled themselves and others. Emotional detachment is not a defect. It is a sharpened form of discipline. It's not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. While others are ruled by emotional impulses, the powerful man remains unmoved. The less you reveal, the more power you retain. When you openly share what matters to you, you give others ammunition. The manipulative don't admire your openness, they exploit it. They're not touched by your vulnerability, they're studying it. Every emotional outburst, every heartfelt confession is not a window into your soul, it's a map to your weaknesses. In every exchange, it's the person who's less invested emotionally who sets the tempo. They choose when to engage, when to pull back, and when to walk away. They have the control, because nothing can be weaponized against someone who keeps their emotions in check. You must learn to calculate your responses. Don't react impulsively to every word, every look, every perceived insult. Reaction is submission. It gives the other person power. The strong man observes. He notes the insult but doesn't respond. He hears the lie but lets it pass. He witnesses the chaos and remains composed. That composure is disturbing to those who thrive on emotional outbursts. It creates a psychological distance, and that distance is leverage. This principle applies across all areas of life, whether in personal relationships, business, or leadership. The less you're emotionally invested, the more influence you have. If someone cries and you stay calm, they lose composure. If they yell and you remain silent, they unravel. If they ignore you and you don't pursue, they question their own worth. In every interaction, your refusal to react becomes your strength. Being emotionally selective is not cruelty, it's control. Most people rush to connect, to explain, to be understood. The powerful man does the opposite. He withholds. He listens more than he speaks. He lets discomfort linger instead of easing it. Silence is his ally. Indifference is his fortress. Detachment is his shield. These aren't traits of a weak man, they're tools of a ruler. People are drawn to what they can't fully reach. They chase what doesn't need them. They obey what they can't predict. So when you give away your emotional energy sparingly, you become a mystery. And mystery always holds power because it gives others nothing to aim at. Look around. The most respected figures are rarely the loudest. They don't demand validation. They don't constantly seek attention. Their strength is in their reserve. They speak less. They reveal less. They care less, at least outwardly. This lack of emotional exposure transforms them into centers of gravity. Everyone else moves around them. Those who haven't mastered detachment orbit around those who have. They crave reassurance. They beg for connection. But the man who doesn't rely on others for emotional sustenance is the one who holds the gravitational pull. The world may label him cold or unfeeling, but that's just a sign that he's gained control. The difference is stark. The weak man is bound by emotion. His desires and fears direct his actions. He seeks to be liked. He wants to be understood. He needs closure. These are vulnerabilities disguised as virtues. But the man who learns to remain emotionally neutral, he's not owned by anyone, not even his own impulses. He's not swayed by the chaos of others. He chooses when to speak, when to care, and when to disappear. This is the paradox. When you care less, others care more. Your absence becomes a source of tension. Your silence becomes deafening. People obsess over what you're thinking, what you're feeling, why you're distant, but you just remain still. And in that stillness you win. Relationships, romantic, familial, social, are where even the strongest often fall. Not on the battlefield, not in the boardroom, but in spaces filled with promises, affection, and vulnerability. You may think love is pure, that it uplifts, that it is the highest goal. But love, in many cases, is warfare dressed in sweetness. And in this war, the one who loves less, who stays emotionally detached, always wins. They will encourage you to open up, to give your heart freely, to be vulnerable. Don't be fooled. These are not strategies. They are traps. In every relationship, someone always holds the leash. And it's never the one who reveals their feelings first. The person who waits, who watches, who speaks only when necessary, that's the one who sets the rhythm. To protect your position, you must master the art of emotional distance, even when you're physically close. You cannot be controlled by what you don't depend on. That's the golden law. The moment you need love, approval, or attention, you hand over your power. And once they know you need them, they own you. People use soft words, fleeting affection, and promises of forever to get under your skin. And when you believe them, you lose. But the man who understands that love can be used as a tool never surrenders his strength. He can walk away without hesitation. And when he does, it destroys the ones who thought they could keep him bound. Your greatest power lies in your ability to say no, not just to your enemies, but to those you care about. They will test you. They'll ask for small compromises, seemingly harmless sacrifices, tiny pieces of yourself. Decline. Do it calmly, without drama, without explanation. You were not created to comfort others at the expense of your own power. You were born to rule your own existence. If that makes you seem distant, so be it. Ice is harder than fire. Think of the serpent. It doesn't roar. It doesn't chase. It watches, and it strikes only when it must. You must be like that in your personal life, calm, calculating, and unreadable. Don't over-explain. Don't justify your silence, your absence, or your ambition. The more they understand you, the more they can control you. So remain a mystery, even to those closest to you. When you are betrayed, and you will be, stay silent. They expect a storm. They want a fight, a reaction. Deny them that pleasure. Say nothing, walk away. Your silence will linger longer in their minds than any outburst. Real power is not found in revenge, it's found in indifference. Revenge is reactive. Indifference is final. It signals that they no longer hold any sway over you. Others may be ruled by emotion, driven by their hearts, but you must move from the mind. This is how you stay ahead. Emotion makes people impulsive, predictable, breakable. You will not chase answers. You will not beg for apologies. You will not ask for validation. You simply continue, unshaken, detached, and completely in control. This isn't cruelty, it's survival. Stop romanticizing connection. Connection is a tool, not a god. Use it, don't idolize it. Be capable of love, but only from a position of strength. Offer affection, but never your core. Be kind, but not easily reached. Listen, but never fully reveal. Because the moment they feel they know you, they'll begin to shape you to fit their desires. You must remain a fortress, unshakable from the outside, untouched on the inside. Your value does not lie in your ability to please. It lies in your refusal to be controlled. And when people realize they can't shape you, they'll do one of two things: fear you or worship you. Either is acceptable. Just never let anyone reduce your power to their level of comfort. Let this be your code. Never let love soften your strength. Never allow friendship to dull your edge. Never let someone else's pain pull you off your path. You are not their therapist. You are not their savior. You are a strategist. And in this world, strategy wins where emotion drowns. Those who remain emotionally neutral always dominate those who get caught in their feelings. The man who cares less never loses himself. He cannot be broken because he was never tethered to begin with. Here is the final truth. Control is not something you're given. It is taken, not by the loudest, not by the kindest, but by the one who stays silent while others scream. The one who can starve his own emotions while others feast on weakness disguised as intimacy. They will call you cold, unreachable, arrogant. Let them. Weak men require emotional warmth to function. Powerful men generate their own fire. They don't seek comfort, they command tension. They don't submit to the need for closure or reassurance. They live according to their own internal compass. This is why the man who feels less ultimately wins. He does not allow the chaos of the world to dictate his inner state. Storms may rage around him, but inside he is calm, focused, untouchable. That stillness terrifies people, because they know they cannot reach him, and what cannot be touched cannot be controlled. Those who truly command respect are not the ones chasing connection or begging to be understood. They are the ones who remain still when others crumble, who watch in silence as others panic, who listen but reveal nothing. They don't reflect, they stand like walls. You don't see through them, you crash into them. And that is the paradox of power. The less you care, the more others chase. Your silence will become a mystery others can't resist solving. Your detachment will spark obsession. Most people are addicted to being needed. They want to feel important. When you deny them that illusion, they unravel. They try harder. They give more, but you remain centered, unmoving, powerful. True power is freedom, and freedom comes from emotional sovereignty. No one should be able to trigger you, provoke you, or play you. Your detachment is your shield. Your ability to walk away is your weapon. Your silence is your crown. You owe no one an explanation. You owe no one access to your inner world. Stop seeking permission for your ambition. Stop justifying your stillness. Most won't understand you, and they're not supposed to. Let them gossip. Let them speculate. Let them complain. You were not created to be liked. You were created to lead. Control isn't just about managing others. It's about mastering yourself. Can you resist short-term rewards for long-term power? Can you say no when others expect yes? Can you choose strategy over validation? If you can, then you don't just succeed, you rule. Detachment isn't emotional emptiness, it's wisdom. It's the understanding that everything is temporary. Love, hate, loyalty, betrayal, it all passes. You don't ride emotional roller coasters. You build your own world on solid ground. Let others react, you respond. Let others chase, you choose. Let others beg, you walk. Be the man who cares less, not because you're bitter but because you're focused. You've seen what caring too much does to people. It weakens them. It blinds them. It makes them slaves to every whisper of attention, every flicker of affection. But you were never meant to be anyone's servant, not even to your own emotions. So rise, observe, detach, control. This is how power is forged, cold, precise, unapologetic. If something deep inside you awakened while reading this, you're already moving in the right direction. You are no longer here to be dragged through emotional games by people who can't even control themselves. You're here to lead, to be respected, to be remembered, not for how loudly you cared, but for how powerfully you stood alone. In the end, power never begs. Power doesn't chase. Power observes. Power selects. And power always cares less.